First of all, take my salam to all of you. I'd like to uh, welcome you in this great session. Today, I'd like to talk about one of the important topic. That's the total understanding the carbon emission rates across sectors. A call for action. 198 countries around all over the world. Today I'm going to talk about, I want to break down the carbon emission rates across various sectors from transportation to industry, agriculture and energy, and highlight how each sector can play a pivotal role in reducing emissions. Number one, I would like to divide today's discussion within five categories. Number one category will be the energy sector. So firstly, let's start with the energy sector. This is the largest contributor to global carbon emissions, responsible for nearly 70% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas are the primary culprits used for electricity productions and heating and industrial process. While renewable energy sources like wind, solar, and hydro are on the rise, fossil fuels continue to dominate the energy mix in many parts of the world. But we have good news. The cost of renewable technologies has dropped dramatically in recent years, and transitioning to cleaner sources of energy is becoming more viable every day. So, for this sector, the challenge is clear. How can we accelerate the shift to cleaner energy while meeting the growing demand and power? So, a transition to renewables combined with energy efficiency measures will be the consummate of low carbon future. So now turn to the section 2. The section 2 is the transportation sector. Transportation sector. Next we have to the transportation sector responsible for around 50 to 20% of global carbon emission. I would like to repeat that. 15 to 20% of global carbon emissions for transportation system. As cars, trucks, planes, and ships all contribute to the emissions of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases. While electric vehicles are becoming increasingly popular and the transition away from internal combustion engines, it is still in its earlier stages in many countries. So it is definitely good news for us. And to reduce emissions in this sector is not just about cleaner cars. We must also consider sustainable public transport system, improved fuel efficiency, and investment in infrastructure for EV charging. And let's not forget about the aviation and shipping industries, where the development of sustainable fuels and alternative technologies will be key in reducing their environmental footprint. So we have to remember every single part of this sector. And, and then next I would like to talk about the sector number 3. The sector number 3 is the industrial sector. The industrial sector, which includes manufacturing, cement production, steel making, and more, is another major emitter of carbon dioxide, contributing around 20 to 25% of global emissions. That's shocking for us. Industrial processes often rely on energy-intensive operations, many of which still depend on fossil fuels. So the challenge here is twofold in reducing the carbon emission intensity of industrial process while also exploring carbon capture and storage technologies. From adopting greener technologies in cement production to increasing the energy efficiency in steel making, There are numerous opportunities to cut emissions and in industrial sector. And innovation and investment will be key in driving this change. Number four is agriculture sector. Now let's look at agriculture, which contributes approximately 10 to 15% of global emissions. Remember that agriculture sector is liable 10 to 15% of total global emissions. So agricultural activities such as livestock farming, rice paddies, and deforestation for land use contribute significantly to methane and nitrous oxide emissions. Deforestation also plays a major role in the sectors of carbon footprint. But there's where the conversation gets interesting that sustainable agricultural practices can help mitigate emissions from better land management and reduced fertilizers use and some more efficient farming practices. There is enormous potential to lower emissions without sacrificing food production. So number five and last one, I would like to talk about the building and construction sector. The building and construction sector is responsible for about 10% of global carbon emission. So the emissions come from materials used in construction, the energy required to build the energy consumed during the life of the building. We must look forward to creating buildings that are energy efficient, use sustainable materials, and incorporate the renewable energy technologies like solar panels. Additionally, retrofit older buildings with energy efficient upgrades can help to reduce emissions and existing infrastructure. So this is all about five fundamental categories. We can categorize the overall carbon emissions within five categories. So in conclusion, I would like to tell that as we have seen today, every sector plays a role in global carbon emissions. So the good news is that solutions are within reach. So whether it's transitioning to clean energy and investigating in green technologies, improving efficiency or adopting sustainable practices, each of us individuals, business and governments has a part to play in reducing our carbon footprint. So the road ahead will require collaboration, innovation, and dedication. But if we tackle emissions sector by sector, we can make significant strides toward a cleaner and more sustainable world. So thank you so much for your attention. So let's all continue to be part of the solution.